Hello everybody, it's Benita here with Be Delighted Creations, and I'm coming to you today showing you how I'm going to be making a fake carrot cake. If you don't know me, my name is Benita and I own Be Delighted Creations on Etsy. I also have Be Delighted Creations on .com, and you can also find me on Instagram and Facebook. Would appreciate it if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Today we are going to be using these foam discs from the Dollar Tree. You can get 2 in a pack. I usually stack, I would say, 5 of them, and so very simple and very easy to make this cake. You're going to need 5 of these foam discs. You're going to need hot glue. You're going to need lightweight spackle paint and some clay, air-dried clay to make the little carrot and the fake nuts. And I will explain to you what those fake nuts are in a little bit. You'll also need a piping tip and a piping bag. So once I get these all aligned how I want them, because some of them can be a little bit uneven, I'm going to be using a glue gun and I am going to be gluing them together. And so just add a little bit of glue, stack them on top, add more glue, and so on and so forth. Very, very easy. I also use a piece of wax paper. I buy a roll of that at the dollar store just to put underneath my surface to keep the cake clean and to keep my surface clean. And so I'm going to stack the 5. You can use as many of these as you want. If you want a shorter cake, if you want a taller cake, you just keep stacking them. They're very lightweight and they're easy to work with. Excuse me. Now once this cake is done and dry, I will be transferring it off that paper and onto a pretty decorative cake board. Now, as far as making fake cakes, you don't have to just use these foam discs. They sell foam cake dummies. They are more expensive. They don't come as small as this. I also found these little cardboard boxes at the dollar store, and to make mini cakes. You can use those to make mini cakes. And this is the little carrot that I'll be showing you how to make, that you're going to be adding, that little embellishment you add on top. So once we got those all stacked up and glued together, we're going to mix our fake frosting. Here I have a bowl, a container with some white frosting already made. There's very little left in there, not very much, but I'm going to go ahead and make some more. And I'm going to take out my Dap Lightweight spackle. I buy this at Lowe's. I like to buy the big buckets. Now I know they sell small containers at the dollar store. I've never used that. I don't feel that it's the same consistency. This just works better for me. They also sell some on Amazon. Many people use it. I've never tried it, but you know, they say it's the same thing. So I'm going to add some with a big popsicle stick. I get these popsicle sticks at Walmart. I'm going to go ahead and add some more to my bowl. Make sure you cover that up really good because it will dry out. I buy these 2-3 gallons at a time because I don't have a Lowe's near me, so sometimes I have to order it, or if we're near Lowe's, I pick some up. Now I don't want it white. Carrot cake has kind of a off-white color, the cream cheese frosting. So I'm going to be adding some paint to this. I'm going to be using the apple barrel from Walmart in antique white. I just put a small squirt in there. Actually think I added a little too much and ended up adding some more white to it to kind of lighten it up a little bit. You just wanted a slightly off-white. And so you can add whatever paints you want, mix it really, really good to get it to the consistency that you want it. and I just hold it in my hand and use that stick, and I just really work it. And the more you work it, also the smoother it gets, so it gets that real frosting look. Um, if if you don't work it and beat it, it can look a little grainy, and to me, I really don't like that look. So I just um, use my stick and I mix it really good. And of course, you don't want it too thick, but you also don't want it too runny. So you could always add more paint if it's too thick. You can add a little bit of flour if it's too runny. And so you wanted the perfect consistency. Now these are the fake nuts that we'll be using. This is corn cob bedding. I bought about a couple years ago. I bought a bag of it on Amazon, and I wasn't using it at first, and then I pulled it out. And since now that I'm doing more fake bakes, I pulled it out and I am using it. But the bag will go a long ways. I don't know if it's still available on Amazon. If I find it, I will leave a link below for that. But you may also want to check Walmart, anywhere they sell pet supplies, Petco, Tractor Supply may have it. But I think it's KC is the brand, and it's just corn cob bedding. And it looks just like chopped nuts. And so here I just picked up my cake. I hold it in my hand. It's the easiest way. I know you can't hold a real cake like that. But I just want to frost the sides, and I just want, it doesn't have to be perfect because you're not going to see it. It's going to be covered with the fake nuts. And so I'm just going to get a nice even layer on there, make it smooth all around the sides, and of course holding it like this makes it so much easier. A real cake is a little bit heavier and denser, and so it doesn't move around as much as these foam discs. When you put them down and you're trying to frost the sides, it could be a little bit difficult because it wants to move around. And so if I can, I hold it in my hand, frost the sides, and then I will add it to my paper to frost the rest of it. So here I'm going to get I have a pan that I use for sprinkles just to catch everything. And I started out with putting them, and then I just threw a bunch in the pan and just rolled it in there. You want to pat them down. You want to pat them down because if not, they'll just fall off. And so you can roll it in there and then pat them down, shake off the excess, make sure that every area of the cake, of the side of the cake is filled, so you don't have any like little bald spots. I mean, if you do, I guess it's okay. You're going to have the frosting look underneath. So, but I just went around patting them in, shaking off the excess, and then adding where it needed to have some. I went all up and down the sides, up to the top, down to the bottom. Just pat them in there real good. And these cakes are so easy and fun. They look so pretty, like on your table. Now your guests won't be able to eat them, but they will look so pretty. I think different sizes, just perfect for spring and the Easter season, because who doesn't like carrot cake, right? I love carrot cake, especially the cream cheese frosting. Yeah. And so once that's good and covered, how you like it, I'm going to set those nuts aside, clean up my area, because even though I had that pan, I still had some falling out the sides. Now I'm going to add it, I'm going to put it on my, don't waste your nuts. You can use those, put them back. That's why I use the pan, because any excess, I just put them back and use them. As long as they're clean, you can use them again. Reuse them. Well, not reuse them, but, you know, don't waste. I think I went to get some wipes. I have to have wipes because it's all so messy. There's just no way of not getting any kind of paint or spackle on your hands. And so I always keep a package nearby just to clean my hands or my area if I make a mess with it. I always do. Never fails. So I'm going to get my turntable, and this is just, it's not the best turntable, but it's what I have. And so work with what you have. If you don't need to go out and buy it, don't. I'm just going to get that paper and just stick it to, I don't want the cake moving around. Then I'm going to get a piece of tape to the top of that turntable so that the paper is not moving around. Like I said, the cakes are really lightweight and they'll slide around really easy, and you want it to stay put. So now we're gonna add some of that icing to the top. Just spread it around. It doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be pretty. I mean, unless you're a professional baker, I still struggle with my icing. If you get some nuts in there, just pick them out. That's okay. If you can't get all the way to the edges, that's okay, because we're going to add some piping decoration there, and you won't be able to see it. So just get as close as you can. Make sure all the foam is covered, and you have a nice little icing. Of course, you don't want it all lumpy, but it doesn't have to be perfect and smooth. And so once that's done, you want to get a piping bag and your piping tip. You can use whatever piping tip you want. The piping tip I'm using, I don't remember the name of it. I'll leave it in the description because I can't remember. It's a large, like a rose style piping tip. You can use the 1M, the 2D. Those are all very popular and very, they work just as fine. So I'm going to go ahead and add my tip to my bag and add the icing to my bag. I use a cup just to hold my bag open, and it allows me to add that icing in there. I use pretty much the whole bowl of icing, I would think. If you don't use it all, you can squirt it out of your piping bag back into the bowl. Don't waste it because it's not cheap. Just try and you could even conserve it in the bag by covering the tip with a wet paper towel and putting it in the Ziploc bag, and then you can pull out the bag and use it again. And so once I get it in there, I kind of test it to see the consistency and what design I want to do. And so I started out and I didn't like it. And now the great thing is that if you don't like it, just scrape it off, put it back in your tub or in your piping bag, and just start all over. That's simple. And so this time I went ahead with a small circular motion, making little rosettes around just like that, just a little hand movement on the edge. And like I said, this will come off that paper and will go onto a real pretty decorated cake board. I'll have to show you next time what exactly it is I use as far as boards. There's so many different ones out there. Some of them are really plain, and I'll just kind of dress them up and make them look a little bit pretty. And there's also the gold ones that cost a little more. It's all up to what you want to do. You could even put it on a nice little plate. Once the bottom's done, I want to go ahead and go to the top, just making this circular motions on the edge of the cake. Don't get it too far to the edge because it'll fall off. And so you want to, get it evenly on there. And then once you get the edges done, I went ahead and put a larger dollop in the middle and added my cute little foam carrot. And there's your carrot cake, guys. I added a few nuts on top. I sprinkled, and this cake looks so real and so yummy. They are so cute. I will be making more of these and listing them in my shop. I think I'm even going to make some smaller ones and list them in my shop. Now here I'm just using this little tool to pat down those nuts because they will fall off if they're not sticking to that fake icing. And so I just sprinkled a few on there as an added decoration, and there you have your cake, guys. And I'm going to show you how I made that cute little carrot. I used this foam air dry clay. I bought a box of these on Amazon. It came with multiple different colors. They are small containers, but I had the red and the green. I mean the orange and the green. You could also use Model Magic. The Model Magic comes in orange and green. Or you could use white Model Magic or any other foam clay and paint it to the color of the carrot. So I just grabbed a small piece. I went towards the middle of it because I think it's drying out. The containers aren't that great. And so I just get a small ball and shape it into the shape of a carrot. Put it on a clean surface, you know, a piece of wax paper because it will also stick. So wax paper is good because you'll be able to lift it off the paper while it's wet. Once it's dry, then it won't stick anymore. So I just shaped it into the shape of a carrot. I grabbed my little tool. It's got kind of like a little sharp edge on the end, and I just pressed it down to make the little lines that the carrot has, and then just pat it so that it keeps its shape. And then I got the green, and with the green foam I went ahead and just got some really small pieces, rolled it in my hand, and made the little green sprigs there that come out at the top of the carrot. That piece must have been kind of dry, so if it's getting hard and dry, you won't be able to work it as good. So I just added these 3 little pieces on there, and that was it. You have your carrot. Set it aside, let it dry. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it inspired you to go out and make some fake cakes. Thank you for watching, and until next time, bye.